Today, I rise in support of my local law enforcement. My local law enforcement that is against this piece of legislation. And I know a lot of us in this body think that the law enforcement can do no wrong. So let's support them right now. More importantly, I've listened to the stakeholders, and I support those folks at Marshall University, the flagship school, the school that never wavered on this legislation, that was never neutral, that was always in support. And I understand that some of us in this body are a little wet behind the ears. And that's okay. I don't fault you for that. But let me educate you about Marshall University and those great faculty and students, more importantly. Those faculty and students that hand us a long laundry list of people that were vehemently against this piece of legislation. They came up here, they talked, they pleaded. We even have a student in the back of the chamber, Marshall University. And I won't let her be disrespected. It was a long, long journey to this session. And when I went to those quarters on Fifth Avenue, John Marshall Drive, they didn't talk about anything else. Overwhelmingly, everyone talked about what were we going to do at Campus Cary. So I've decided to listen to them, and I will have to oppose this. And in listening to the debate, and it's been a good debate, I wanted just to vote no and support higher education and all those good folks back home. But then I heard a couple things, and I took exception to it. And this is not personal, but we started talking about protections. Started talking about protecting folks. And, a lot of us in this body might not know what it's like to walk in a woman's shoes for fear of being raped. And I agree with that. But I also have another perspective. Because I can tell you right now, at the end of the last year, hate groups in America are at a 20-year all-time high. They're not going for you. They're not going for you, you, or you. Guess who they're going for? I know a little bit about fear. I know a little bit about that, wanting to be protected. And make no mistake about it, that CDL, I've never had a bad run-in with them. They've always been respectful to me. Not a bad thing to say about them. Folks from the NRA, heck, I've gone to dinners in Cabell County and Wayne County before. Never had a bad thing to say about them. But what I will tell you is this. They pick and choose. They've been for gun control before. They've been for gun restrictions before. Most pointedly, the Mulford Act. I know some of you politicos know about the Mulford Act, 1967, California. Republican Governor Ronald Reagan, your favorite, along with the NRA, they backed legislation on restricting guns to certain folks. It was the Black Panther Party, who were charged with protecting their communities and their neighborhoods, fighting against racism, police brutality. They didn't want them to protect themselves. They didn't want that. It was restrictions on certain folks. 1920s, 1930s, they also restricted guns because of European immigrants in Northern America. That's what they did. They pick and choose. Pick and choose. So they have not always been for that. And my good friend, my new friend from the 29th, talked about the empowerment of protecting people. Well, I would like to say this. Make sure, and I appreciate that enthusiasm, I like it. Make sure we keep that same enthusiasm, because we don't have enough time to introduce bills right now. But next session, when we need to protect all people, keep that same enthusiasm, because we're going to be running bills. I want you to co-sponsor something with me. I need you to do that. Keep that same enthusiasm. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.